In today's video, I'm going to show you how to draft and sew a Santa hat. And to do this, you will need a pattern paper, and you fold your pattern paper into two. The next thing is to measure the width of your hat. And to get the width of the hat, you have to measure your head circumference. That is, you take your measurement around your head. You measure round your head, which is your head circumference, and you divide it by 4. Mine is 22, and I'll be dividing it by 4, which is 5.5, which is also 5.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure the 5.5 inches on my pattern paper. You mark it. You mark your head circumference divided by 4 on your pattern paper. The next is to measure the length of your hat. I use 14 inches. You can make it longer if you want it to be longer. Mark the length of your hat. You draw a straight line from the mark of the 5.5 to the corner where you mark your length, from the width to the length. And then the next thing is to cut out the template. You cut it out. After cutting it out, you set it aside. So the next thing now is to draft the band of the hat. The band width is 6 inches, so you divide it by 2, which will give you 3 inches, and then you mark it on your pattern paper. You mark it all on your pattern paper. Then you rule a straight line. You rule it down, rule it straight line. So the length of the band is 11 inches, which is your head circumference divided by 2. So you have to mark your 11 inches and you mark it downward. And then you connect it with a straight line. And you cut it out. You cut out the pattern of the band. Next is to cut the fabric. You fold your fabric into two. You fold your fabric into two. You can use a velvet fabric, a satin fabric, or any fabric of your choice. And then you place the pattern on the fabric. Make sure that one side of the pattern is placed at the folded edge of your fabric. Then you pin it down. You pin your pattern paper to your fabric. Okay, you make sure it's laying very flat. You pin everything down. Make sure it's laying flat. You add half-inch allowance around it. Add half-inch allowance, same allowance. You add it and then you cut it out. After cutting it, you set it aside, and then we'll have to cut the band. So to cut the band, you fold your fabric into two, okay, to get the width, and then you fold it again into two to get the length. So you place your pattern on it. Make sure that one edge of it is at the folded part of your fabric, okay? Make sure it's at the folded part of your fabric. Let it lay flat, and then you pin your pattern to your fabric, okay? Then you add half-inch allowance, half-inch sewing allowance. You don't need to add half-inch to this area. Okay, you know, when we sew on half inch, we'll be left with 2.5. You know, we measure 3 inches, so just cut it out. Now that we are done cutting, remove your pin, remove your pattern from your fabric. Okay, and this is what we got. So the next thing we are going to do is to head over to the sewing machine and join this together. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like this video, share this video, and click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop a new video. So we are going to be sewing on half inch. Going to be sewing on half inch, and even on the band we are going to be sewing on half inch. Okay, so let's head over to the sewing machine and join them together. We'll start by sewing the heart. You fold the right side facing each other and pin them down, and then you sew all the way down with half inch allowance. Make sure you always begin and end with back stitching. Okay, you sew it down with half inch allowance and back stitch. You trim off your excess thread so that your heart will be neat. Okay, and then you flip it inside out. You flip it inside out. So this is what we have. Okay, this one is ready. We set it aside, and then we sew the band. So we have to sew the band on half inch. You fold it into two and we sew down on half inch. Okay, don't forget to also back stitch and cut off excess thread. So we are going to turn it now. So the next thing now is to attach our heart with the band. We have to attach our heart with the band. Okay, and to do so we have to match the seam of the heart with the seam of the band. We make sure they align. Okay, make sure they align, the seam of the heart and the seam of the band. Align it, and then you pin them together. Okay, you pin them all the way around. Just take it gently, pin them carefully all the way around. So the next thing now is to sew. You sew them together, you sew them down on half inch. Okay, don't forget, you sew it on our half inch, you sew it round. Just take it easy, gently. Make sure you align them. You sew it gently, back stitch. You don't have to rush. Okay, now that we are done sewing, you cut out the excess thread, and then you remove your pins. Very important. Our Santa hat is ready. Our Santa hat is ready. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So it's very easy to make. It's ready. So guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like this video, share this video, and click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop a new video. You see, our hat is ready. Okay, so I'm going to make a pom-pom using this round shaped object. I will draw the round shape. I'll just trace it on the fabric. Please ensure to use a fabric marker and make sure that the round shape you are using is not too big, so that the pom-pom will not be too big. Okay, so the next thing I will have to sew round where we have marked. You just have to be gentle, sew it round carefully. Then you will leave half or 1 inch opening. You will leave 1 or half inch opening at around the end of your stitches. Okay, you cut off your excess thread, and then we are going to trim out. You see that place I'm pointing at now is the opening. We have to trim out the excess fabric. Try to trim it close to your seam, but please don't cut your seam. Be very careful so that you not cut your seam. You see the opening? We are going to flip it inside out. Do it gently and carefully. Okay, so the next thing now is to stuff in fiber into our pom-pom. Me, I couldn't lay my hands on fiber, so I had to use cotton wool. Just stuff it in, make sure you arrange it, make it round. Okay, so the next thing now is to attach our pom-pom to our hat. You have to fold in the raw edges of your pom-pom and put the pointy part of your hat inside the pom-pom. I call it pom-pom, I don't know what to call it. Okay, so you just have to arrange it, make sure the raw edges are inside, and then you hand stitch. You use your needle and thread to stitch your pom-pom to your hat. Do it carefully and neatly in a way that your thread will not be showing outside. Okay, you tie it, and then we are done. Okay, you see the end product of our Santa Claus hat. Our Santa hat is ready. See how beautiful and how neat it is. You can see. So it's very easy to make. Thank you for watching to the end. Please kindly subscribe, leave a comment below, click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop a new video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.